everyone. I am Glynis Jones. I'm here with Sheebah Smith of Bekôz Marketing, a creative collaborative that provides innovative marketing, branding, and communication strategies for purpose-driven organizations. We help organizations mobilize their mission, connect with constituents, and most importantly, further their cause, which is why we are so excited for this Backstage experience today. We're going to be able to talk to some organizations to get the nitty-gritty, right, Sheebah?
Absolutely. So welcome to Backstage with Bekoz. This is where you get all of the behind the scenes, the interviews. If we're going out into the community, you just never know what happens when we pull back the curtain. And you're going to see a little bit of that tonight on one of the organizations that we're working with. So we have our first guest on Backstage with Bekoz, and I'm so excited, Glynis, to hear what's coming.
Our first guest is Cherise Davis. She is the founder and president of God's Ladies of Significance and Service, also known as GLOS. And I've had the opportunity to know Cherise for over 5 years now, and I'm always just energized and enthused by just her drive and passion for GLOS and the work that she does with these young ladies. But I'm going to let her tell you more about that. But welcome, Cherise. Welcome Backstage.
Welcome Backstage.
Thank you so much for just the privilege to be a client and to be your first Backstage with Bekoz person. So
we won't tell folks that you are our guinea pig.
Yes.
But thank you.
It'll be a secret.
So let's jump in. Can you tell us just a little bit about GLOS? You know, what is GLOS and kind of the mission and the vision behind it and how you got started?
Absolutely. So the way GLOS got started was about 14 years ago. I was a sophomore in college. I actually attended the Charlotte campus of Johnson & Wales University. And so I was looking at trying to figure out my housing plans for my junior year. So there were a few things I knew about myself. One was that I did not want to have a roommate my junior year. So I decided, how about instead of having roommates, what if I hosted retreats for girls throughout the month as a way to supplement my income? And so I began to spend all of this time in front of my computer. I had lots of conversations with my mom. I spent a lot of time just in prayer trying to figure out what I could do. And so my idea kind of grew from just being retreats for girls to actually being an organization that girls could be a part of. And so I just really kind of give God the credit, because the idea, the name GLOS was just an idea that I got from him. I was like, GLOS, like what girl doesn't like lip gloss or glossy things, you know?
Right.
So anyway, I also knew that being a girl is like really hard, and being a woman is hard. And so I grew up in a 2-parent household. I went to church. I went to decent schools. I had, what you would think would be a good upbringing, but life was still really difficult. And so I just felt really compelled to do something for young ladies, particularly Christian young ladies. And I wanted to do something that could just really benefit all girls. So just after lots of brainstorming, GLOS came about. And over the years, I guess you would say the mission and the clarity became more clear. So really what our mission is to challenge girls to accept only God's best for their lives. And that's easier said than done.
Right.
It is.
When you're like a little girl, like, 5, 6 years old, maybe God's best is just, you need to keep your room clean, But then as you turn 12 and 13, you start having friend situations. And then as you get a little older, you have accepting God's best while you're dating. And that just, even spills over into your adult life.
It gets complicated.
I don't have enough time for that.
There's a lot of it.
And so it's just kind of like, I wanted to make sure that there was an organization that could grow with girls. So our mascot is a butterfly. And so we know girls go through different phases. And so what GLOS wants to do is to be that source of encouragement, that source of mentorship as they go through those different phases of life.
Right.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. There wasn't anything like GLOS when I was coming along, and I could have definitely used something like that. Tell us a little bit about kind of some of the programming that you do for the young ladies? Because you say you have the age range from 5 to 25, so I'm sure that there's some variety maybe in the programs that you offer.
Yes. So currently we have 3 signature programs: Butterfly Cafe, Significant Service, and Beyond My Stomping Ground. And so Butterfly Cafe is hosted weekly, and the goal for that is, a lot happens in a week and in a girl's life. And so it's just really important for them to have that space where they can share about what's been going on, and for them to get that peer, that group mentoring opportunity. And then we have Significant Service, which occurs once a month. And the purpose of Significant Service is serving significant service. And that I love, because that's where we actually get to go out into the community and give back. When I think about what GLOS stands for, God's Ladies of Significance and Service, that's our opportunity to live out who we say that we are. And then our 3rd program is Beyond My Stomping Ground. We started it for the first time this year, or this 2019-2020 year. And the purpose of Beyond My Stomping Ground is taking girls beyond their stomping ground, giving them experiences that they're not used to, letting them see what life is like in other places. So my goal for that is first to actually get to travel abroad. But so far we're traveling within virtual concepts, or, experiences like going to the farmer's market provides like that international experience. And then in addition to those programs, we have a couple special events that we host throughout the year that are a lot of fun, that we open up to the public.
Awesome. Wow. So I did want to ask about the Butterfly Cafe. So, of course, given our current situation and, being in the pandemic that we're in right now, are you able to what are some of the innovative ways that you've been able to still make sure that you're engaging the young ladies, possibly Butterfly Cafe, or any other ways to keep them engaged?
Yes.
Motivated and wanted to continue with the organization.
Yes. So what I love is, when I was first coming up with the ideas for GLOS, I wanted Butterfly Cafe to be a virtual concept. I had no idea that literally meant like we would be doing things virtually. I wanted it to be something that was available anytime, any place. So it's not necessarily a specific place, but I wanted to, it was about the girls getting together. And so because of COVID-19, we're getting together on Zoom. And, we have other means of communication, obviously text messages, but also like the GroupMe app. Most of the girls, they do social media too. So that's another way for us to check in with them. But specifically for Butterfly Cafe, we meet on Zoom. And so they log in, and we still have our sharing time. They get to talk about what's been going on in the week. And except now the conversations are more about what's happening in the home life, because they're not at school, but they still have conversations about their teachers and homework. And then we also get to talk about whatever the lesson is that's scheduled for that particular time that we meet. So it's been different. We do miss the snack component to Butterfly Cafe.
Yes.
Especially eating is one of our core values. So we just tell them, bring you a snack to the virtual Butterfly Cafe.
Yeah, that's smart. A little chat and chew in your own little area. Mm-hmm. So that's really amazing. First and foremost, kudos to you to be innovative in this time where so many have to really push forward in order to ensure that their services keep on going. Because for a lot of people, services have stopped or they're not able to. So kudos to you for being able to do that with your organization. And I'm hoping that that will be an inspiration to other organizations, other people that are listening to this. And secondly, kudos to you for being such an innovator and an entrepreneur at a young age and finding that supplemental income, and starting something that makes such a big impact. And so, you've been doing it for a very long time. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the growing pains that you are facing and some of the challenges that you kind of went through to get to where you are now, and then even to still expand in the future, because you were talking about possibly traveling abroad when we're able to get to that point. So can you just talk a little bit about how you got through some of those things and what those challenges were?
Yeah, so I would say organizational growing pains is just, organizations are like, they're living, so they're, it, you just have like struggles, just regular struggles with like keeping volunteers and maintaining membership engagement. And then even my own personal struggles just being a leader. There's some things I do very well, and then there are other things that I just don't do so well at. And so I think one of the lessons I've learned is to not try to do everything by myself, which is another reason too why I just really felt like we needed some help in the marketing area. Because as much as I want to come up with all the ideas in my mind, that's not realistic. So I would also say another growing pain would be carrying the weight of the vision. So like our vision is to become global. We want to be a global sisterhood of Christ-centered young ladies. And then we want to provide a network of resources to enhance their lives. And I'm excited about the vision. I want to see that happen, but I admit that too, that's very overwhelming. And so in order to make that vision happen, like you kind of have to get others involved in the vision to help make that happen. So I think it kind of moves from being like a struggle or a growing pain to being like where I'm in the gym and I'm working toward this goal, but I've got a trainer or I've got classmates, I've got people along the way to help me get the results that I'm looking for.
Right. It's definitely important to have that support system. And
yes,
I think one of the key things you said is that you can't do it all yourself, right? That's why you have different people in place. We can't do all of the marketing, or we can't do all the fundraising, or we can't do all of the volunteer recruitment. Right? We have to understand that there has to be a support system there and to assist with that capacity building. So I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the marketing piece of it, to share with the folks about some of the work that we were able to do with Bekoz, that Bekoz was able to do with Bekoz. We've been connected for years, so I was super excited when you came to us and said, let's talk. I want us to take just a closer look at the Gloss brand. You mentioned that there were some things that you wanted to have happen for the organization. You had some other folks in place that were assisting you from, volunteer, that were assisting with the website. So you had some of these things in place. So it's just a matter of taking a closer look and seeing if we can build out a strategy for to make the greatest impact, right? So I just want you to share with folks a little bit kind of about your experience with that process, and just anything that you would like to share with folks so they can understand the value of what that can bring to an organization.
Yes. So I am incredibly grateful for being able to work with you all. And I know I said work with you all, but I don't really feel like it's like work. I think, I guess when I think of work, I think of, you all know, Ayanna Fix My Life on Oprah's channel. And she's always like, you got to do the work. You got to do the work.
Got to do the work.
Yes. And like you're watching, you're like, yeah, girl, you got to do the work. But sometimes the work requires you to think kind of past your comfort zone, or requires you to dig really deep. And so that is what you all had me do, was to, ask those questions like, why gloss? What do you think of when you think of gloss? What do you want to see happen for gloss? And it might seem like those should be like easy questions to answer. But it requires you to kind of to think big. And then you all also extended the opportunity for me to engage other gloss volunteers to help answer those questions too. And so even hearing from them about how they saw gloss was affirming about what it is that we do. And it was like fun mind activities, very, very enjoyable. I think it's just also good to be able to work with people who are pleasant, that are timely, that are professional, and that's yes, that's you guys. And then yes, and then I just remember the joy I felt too when I opened up the strategic plan. I was getting ready to go into the gym one Saturday morning, and I was just looking at it. I was like, just, look, I was on my phone. So I was scrolling, and it was just so exciting. And I wanted to like sit there in the car and finish scrolling. I was like, we got to go in this gym because that's working towards some other goals. But that was just exciting just to see how the few activities that you all had me do, you were able to take that and make it into a plan. So now, like when we work with a graphic artist to redo the logo, or working on the website, or whatever the case, whatever, like we have the foundation that we need to tell the gloss story in a way that is engaging and interesting. So yeah, I could go on and on.
Well, this is your time. We definitely want to get out the information about what it is you guys have done, and just thank you for having your team come and be involved, because we talk about so much about, what do people think about their organization, but when it comes to the brand, it's really what others think of you. As far as brand awareness is concerned, you can think one thing, and then your team and your clients or customers or whoever's utilizing your service might think something completely different. And it can really have a severe effect on how you market. And so you developed this plan, you brought your team together, and we applaud you for being open, because sometimes it's hard to hear, what people have to say about an organization, but just being open to that and being able to accept that and then move forward with it is great. So you have this wonderful plan that was developed by two wonderful ladies and their team. And we just want to know, what is the result? Because you can have a plan, but then the important part is really to implement that plan. And so what is the result of the strategies that were presented to you, and what are the next steps that you plan on taking?
So two things. First, one moment for me where I was like, oh, this plan is the bomb. Like, obviously when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, because I've never really seen like a strategic
plan. That's so sweet.
What it looks like. But then when we're in the process of redoing our logo, and when I met with the graphic designer, I shared the marketing plan that you all created with her, and she was just blown away. And this is what she does for a living. And she was like, I've never met with a client before that has a marketing plan like this. Like it's great for her. She would like to see something like that from all of her clients, but she doesn't. So when you hear from like another professional say that about you all, that was like, oh wow, this plan is bomb. So from that, obviously, yes, we started working on the logo based upon you all's recommendations. Also working on a commercial that was part of one of the recommendations you all had. And there's so much in there, like we still have so much work to do to accomplish, all of the recommendations that you all had. But the next thing I'm just really excited about is preparing for this upcoming gloss year when we start in September. So using this summer to really engage new volunteers, new members, and new donors. And so what you all put in the plan also will help us prepare for that this summer.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that, because, it's good to know that, the work that you're doing for organizations like the one that you have that are actually making a difference in the community, that is what Bekoz is all about. And so we're excited to see, what that final commercial will look like, what the final logo will look like. We'll share it with everyone who's watching so that they can also see the transition that Gloss has taken and will be taken. And I think that it's so important to really emphasize the fact that you planned first, right? Everybody always wants to jump into the brand elements. I want to make a logo. I just want to, throw out some social media posts, but I don't think that people really realize how important the actual brand is and how that can get you through all of these elements, like you said, giving it to the graphic designer so that you could easily move forward with developing your logo, she knew exactly what she was looking for. And so it's not like you had to take a back step with that. You could easily move forward. So definitely looking to see all of that stuff come into fruition. But let me ask you back about Gloss. You know, why is it so important to build awareness about the organization to you? Why do you think people should know about Gloss?
Well, because, you know, I really believe in our mission. I really believe in our vision. And I know one of the things that my mother says to me a lot is you don't always have to get people to believe, something like you don't always have to get people to believe whatever it is, but as long as they believe that you believe what you believe, like that's actually what draws people in. And so I know that this is something that God inspired me to do. I know that because there were like other plans that I thought I was going to pursue, but Gloss is just kind of, it's something that, you know, came into my life, and I knew that this is what I was supposed to do. And so, you know, we live in a world that's full of girls, and girls grow up to become wives, mothers, professionals, leaders. And so I just believe that they have such an impact and the ability to influence. And so we want to be a part of creating productive members in society. So I just, like, you know, like I just feel very strongly about this is an organization that God can use to transform families and communities by girls being a part of it.
Amen. Where's the donate button? I want to donate. Right?
Yeah,
we'll put the link below.
Right now.
Yeah,
That is so awesome.
It's definitely a worthy cause.
That's so awesome. This has been so great. So first of all, I'm feeling all the girl power right now. Like I'm just
There.
build up our young ladies. And just when you said that, I was thinking about when I was initially introduced to the organization, and I was thinking myself that, you know, I want to be a part of this because I want to play a part in, you know, impacting these young ladies' lives. Like, you know, I can help pour into them. You know, I had some missteps along the way, and, you know, and I've turned out okay. So how can I, you know, share with others my experience? How can I, you know, just pour into them? So that was some of why I was very interested in getting involved in Gloss. So, and I hope that others that are seeing this will want to get involved.
Yes.
So what we need you to do is tell them every place that they can find you.
Yes.
Your social handles, how they can donate. Share all that good information, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So our website is glosssisterhood.org, glosssisterhood.org. And I always tell people, type in Gloss first, GLOSS, then type in sisterhood, because as you do it, it's going to be a lot of S's in there. So glosssisterhood.org. And then we're on Facebook as well. Just type in Gloss, GLOSS, and we're on Instagram and Twitter as Gloss Sisterhood. And the other thing I would say is once you get to our website, there is a link there where you can donate. And we also specify how your donations can actually support Gloss. You can, your giving can directly impact a young lady's life, or it could support our programs or our operations. And then also people can click information to learn about membership on our website. So if there's a young lady, you know, in your life who is between the ages of 5 and 25, there's details about how to join, as well as volunteering. We are a volunteer-led organization. So once you go online, there's links that tell you about the volunteer app and different roles that we have available. And then the other thing is we currently have 3 locations: Lawrenceville, Georgia, Stone Mountain, Georgia, and then Woodbridge, Virginia. But part of our desire is to grow and to have Gloss chapters in other cities and eventually around the world. So if someone happens to go to our website and they're like, oh, I live in LA and I really want to be a part of Gloss, we have a link on there as well where you can submit an inquiry about starting a Gloss chapter as well.
Awesome. And Gloss is a 501c3. So
yes.
Donations and contributions are tax deductible. So, but That is so exciting, so exciting. Thank you for sharing that information, Cherise.
Yeah.
Joining us and sharing Gloss with us. And we're excited to go along the journey with you. Just, we've developed a plan and we believe in implementation. So we're going to run along until we get those things done that are in the plan.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely excited to be along for the ride, an upward ride. So that'll be good.
These phases with Gloss as we go through these multiple phases.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you, Cherise, so much for joining us, as Glynis said. And Glynis, I just want to let you know, I think you turned out wonderfully. I love you. But I understand if there's an organization that can help out along the way, we all need a little bit of help, so that works too. I know I still need some, but thank you all for joining us. We are just so excited that we could bring you Bekoz in this manner, bring you Backstage with Bekoz, and bring you such great organizations that you can find out like Gloss. And so if you want to learn a little bit more about Bekôz Marketing or Backstage with Bekoz, just look at our website. It's bekozmarketing.com. And if you take a look, Glynis, I need you to show them your shirt about the spelling. So it's B-E-K-O with the circumflex Z. But if you just put in B-E-K-O-Z, it'll work just fine. So that's bekozmarketing.com. And you can also find us on our social media channels, which include Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at Bekoz Marketing. So once again, B-E-K-O-Z. So we are excited. If you guys need any marketing help, please feel free to contact us. We do free consultations. We would love to just have a conversation with you. And if you're an organization in the community that needs a little bit of assistance, our team gives back as well. So give us a call and let's see how we can all get involved. So once again, thank you, Cherise, for joining us this evening. Glynis, always a pleasure. And I am Sheebah Smith. Glynis and I are with Bekoz Marketing, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you all.